Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name's Elizabeth, and today we're going to be talking about the blue zones of health, happiness, and prosperity. So the blue zones, they're geographic regions in areas with lower rates of chronic diseases and a longer life expectancy. So their diet, fasting, exercises, and other factors are associated with blue zones in Italy, Greece, Japan, Costa Rica, and the United States. Those are the 5 main blue zones. So let's talk about how these people, they have the most centenarians, so the most people who live to 100 and that are actually happy and that enjoy their lives. They're healthy and they enjoy their lives, which is something that I want. It's a value that I have, is health and happiness. And so let's look at these people. They are successful, and I always look at who can we learn from, who has already done it, and what can we take away and glean from what they've done. All right, so first, a blue zone is a non-scientific term. It's just given to the geographic region that has the most centenarians in some of the world's oldest people. And so Dan Buettner is an author, and he has studied the blue zones, right? He was studying areas in the world that had exceptionally long lives, so people who had a long lifespan, and he ended up calling them the blue zones because when Buettner and his colleagues were searching in these areas, they drew these big blue circles around them on a map. So it's not like this crazy thing. It's just how they identified it. So the 5 main blue zones are Icaria, Greece. It's an island in Greece where people have a Mediterranean diet and lots of homegrown vegetables. There's also Sardinia, Italy. The Oligastro region of Sardinia is home to some of the oldest men in the world. They live in the mountainous regions where they typically work on farms, and they drink lots of red wine. And also there's Okinawa, Japan, where Okinawa is home to the world's oldest women, and they eat a lot of soy-based foods, and they practice Tai Chi, which is a meditative form of exercise. Then we have the Nicoya Peninsula, which is located in Costa Rica, and the Nicoyan diet is based around beans and corn tortillas. The people in this area regularly perform physical jobs into old age, and they have a sense of life purpose called pura de vida. Then we also have the Seventh-day Adventists, which are located in Loma Linda, California, in the United States. And these Seventh-day Adventists are a very religious group of people. They're strict vegetarians, and they live in a tight-knit community. So although these are the only places that are listed in Dan Buettner's books, there might be other places in the world that haven't been studied, but there's a lot of lessons that we can learn. And so let's talk about, what do these people do, and what are the commonalities, what are the similarities that we can take away, and maybe we could try to implement in our own lives. So interestingly, only 30% or 20 to 30% of our genes and our genetics account for longevity. So therefore, there's actually a lot of things that we can do that can help us with our longevity in our lives. So one commonality is that people who live in the blue zones eat a diet full of whole plant foods. So I am plant-based, and I have been for about 5 years now. I'm happy to share more information. I know a lot about this. I'm not a perfect eater or anything, but I just looked at the science, and it is clear to me that that is what I want to do. And honestly, it's absolutely changed my life. This is where I started learning and started getting more information on the internet. Before I did personal development and stuff, it was all about plant-based eating. So, and this is shown in the blue zones, and they primarily eat a 95% plant-based diet. So it's not perfect. Some do have a little meat or things or dairy, but overall, they have a plant-based diet. So a number of studies, including one with over 500,000 people, they've shown that avoiding red meat and processed meat can significantly reduce the risk of death from heart disease, cancer, and a number of other different causes. And so a plant-based diet has been literally proven to not only prevent heart disease, which is one of the leading causes of death in the United States and also in the world, but it can actually reverse it if you do a whole plant foods with salt, oil, and sugar eliminated. If you just have natural foods like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, oats, breads, things like that, you can actually reverse your heart disease. So, and if it's the number one killer or almost the number one killer, and it can be prevented with food, that is insane. And that is so powerful and enlightening and empowering. And so if you want to learn more about plant-based diets, let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to do more about this. I've been doing research on this for a few years, and so I'm happy to share more information. But that is one thing that they do. Number 2, they follow the 80% rule. So this is a slight caloric restriction. They stop when they're about 80% full. This is called Hara Hachibu in Okinawa, Japan. And so you're not trying to restrict yourself, and you're not trying to not eat. They eat lots of dense in whole foods and tortillas and stuff. It's just they are more mindful and they don't over consume. So it's just something that can hopefully help you. Number 3, they consume alcohol in moderation. So I don't drink. I've never really drank at all. But this is something in some of the longer lived regions, they do have a very small amount of alcohol. Typically it's with community, and that's some of these other factors when other studies have been put in. It's probably not as much about the alcohol. It's more about the community that they have, trying to stay less stressed, etc. And so we know alcohol can be a huge, huge problem in our world and in people's lives. And so I try to steer clear of that and try to recommend staying away from that. I think there's other things that you can do that don't involve alcohol that help, but I do want to share what Dan found in his research. Number 4, exercise is built into daily life. So they're moving, right? We talk about gardening and natural movement. They don't go to the gym and lift weights. And I mean, there are benefits of that, but typically they're just naturally moving. They sit and stand and sit and stand, and those are squats and being able to do those things. So, and even they hand make food, and so stirring and using their muscles. And so staying active and moving around and not just sitting at a desk or a computer all day, which I can be guilty of, is really, really important. Next, they get enough sleep. So they're very, very into sleep. They will also sometimes take naps, whatever they need to do to get that rest, right? It helps lower stress. It helps you feel more energetic. I know I got to sleep in today. Thank you to my husband again. And I just feel so much better, right? When you get sleep. So make sure you get that sleep. It can really make a difference. Also, some other traits that have been linked to long life and longevity and happiness is being religious or spiritual. Also having a life purpose called your ikigai in Okinawa. Older and younger people live together, so I think a lot of people don't do this anymore, but in certain countries and sometimes you have to, but that's actually really, really good for both the older generation and the younger generation. And then having a healthy social network, and they have at least 3 people that they could call if they're having a bad day. So ultimately, the Bluezones have some of the oldest and the healthiest people in the world. And I think we can take some of these lessons and implement them into our own lives. Let me know if there's any that stand out to you, if you want more information. This is just a brief overview and video and just an introduction to the Bluezones. But there's the Bluezones of health. There's the Bluezones of happiness. There's the Bluezones kitchen with lots of recipes and plant predominant recipes that can help you. But I really like the Bluezones of happiness too, and how they're happy. Like most of these people are happy, right? And I think that's a key to a long life. And a lot of people who are happier think that life is long and life is easy. And the people who think life is long and easy typically live a happier, healthier, and a better life. So I love the Bluezones. I love plant-based diets and eating. I never want to pressure anyone. Like I would never talk to people in my own life or something saying, you need to do this. That's not really my personality. But if you're interested, I'm like, here's the information. Let me tell you, this has helped me. And if you want to do it, cool. I hope that helps you too. So thank you so much for being here. Let me know what you think. Have you heard of the Bluezones before? Have you heard of Dan Buettner? He works with National Geographic and has for so many years. There's some great talks. Maybe I'll link that here and maybe I'll show you some of his talks and videos on YouTube. He also has Instagram and other things that you can maybe go follow him and learn a little bit from him. But let me know what you learned or what you think in the comments below. What Bluezone health habit do you want to adopt? And feel free to give this video a thumbs up if you thought it was helpful or insightful. It helps me make more videos like this and make more videos on this channel. Feel free to subscribe if you want more videos like this. It really helps the channel out and helps us grow and builds our community, which I want to build a community of healthy, happy, and helpful people who want to improve themselves and ultimately change the world. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a great day, and I hope this video is helpful, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.